Hey guys, it's Mr. Grice for Algebra 1, Unit 2.6 Notes. Today we're going to be talking about graphing linear equations in slope-intercept form. Our learning target today is to be able to graph lines in slope-intercept form without a table of values. Now, we've talked about two different ways so far to graph a line. One's using a table of values. One's using x and y-intercepts. And today we're going to be talking about slope-intercept form. Okay, so let's go over when to use different versions of it. Okay, so table of values can be used when an equation has, let me get the right pen out, the y by itself. Okay, okay, so when the y is by itself, if you see right here, the y is all by itself, and be like, all right, create a table of values. That means you need to write that down, okay? And when you're doing a table, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points, okay? If you want to make it all nice and pretty, you can put a box around it, okay? And we know that this number right here tells us what we need to count by because it's a fraction, all right? So we have 0 in the middle, and then we need to go 3, 6, because I'm counting by threes. I need 2 positives and 2 negatives. And from then, all you do, negative 1/3, and parentheses, and then you fill it out, okay? So if I was trying to find out what the first one was, I would put, in my calculator, I have to put the fractions in parentheses, so negative 1/3 times negative 6 plus 6. And what do I get? I get positive 8. And then I would do it for the next point. I would do the exact same thing with negative 1/3 times negative 3 plus 6. And I get positive 7. Why don't you guys pause the video and see if you can get the next 3 points all by yourself. Good luck. Now, did you pause the video or did you just wait? All right, well, hopefully you did it. And you should have gotten 6, 5, and 4. Now, if you notice, there's a pattern between those points. Okay, since it's a linear equation, it's going to make a line, and the line follows a pattern. That's what the slope is. All right, now, x and y-intercepts. When do we use x and y-intercepts? Well, we use that when the x and y are on the same side. Okay, so seeing our equation, how here's your x and there's your y. So when we do this, we need to find the x-intercept, and we also need to find the y-intercept. So when we're finding the x-intercept, y equals 0. So I would plug in 0 and solve. Well, that's 0. So now we're left with 2/3 x equals negative 4. And to get the x by itself, we need to multiply by the reciprocal. And then we get x equals. And remember, when you're doing this, put your fraction in there, in the parentheses, and we get negative 6. And remember, negative 6 is not our answer. All right, intercepts. Remember what the PT stands for? It stands for point. My answer is the point negative 6, 0. And that's just one of them because I need to know what the y-intercept is too. So once again, we have to plug in 0, which is nice because the fraction goes away. And just remember that that negative sign comes down. and there's a -1 in front of it. So to get rid of that negative, we have to divide by -1, and we get y equals 4. And then once again, we want that as a point is 0, 4. Okay, and the last one, the slope-intercept form. Okay, you can use that when the y is by itself. You might be like, well, Mr. Grice, that's what the table of values does too. Yes. Okay, but you need to read the directions and know what they're asking you to do. Sometimes you might have to do both. It's just what the directions ask for. Okay, so the slope-intercept form, you guys are going to need to know this, so I'm even going to put it right here so you don't forget it. It's y equals mx plus b, okay? Which means that this -1/3, that right there is our slope, okay? That's the m. It tells us the movement of the graph, okay? And the other thing we need is this number right here. That is our y-intercept, okay? It's the point 0, b. I always think of b because that tells me where to begin the graph, okay? And so when we're doing this, we need to plot the y-intercept, use the slope to plot at least 2 points. I'm going to do more, and then to draw the line through all of the points. Now, before we get started though, let's just practice identifying the slope and the y-intercept. All right, remember that y equals mx plus b. So the first thing I want to do is find the intercept, the y-intercept. And we did it right here. The y-intercept is we let x equal 0. All right, so if you want to do this, I'm going to do it on another sheet of paper. So we got y equals 2, what is it? 3x minus 8. And we're going to plug in a 0. Well, those cancel, and y equals -8. Okay? So our point, our y-intercept, is 0, -8. And the other thing I need is the slope. The slope is always attached to the x. So that's 3. Okay? Now let's do the next one. We have y equals -1/2 x plus 3. I'm going to do it on this other sheet of paper. Y equals -1/2 x, I already forgot, plus 3. So we're going to do the same thing. So -1/2 plus 3. Well, 1/2 times 0 is 0, so we get 3. So our y-intercept is 0, 3. And then remember our slope is whatever is attached to the x, so -1/2. All right, next one, y equals 5x. When you plug in a 0, well, what's 5 times 0? 0. And I loved it in class. Someone said, well, isn't that the origin? It is the origin. It's 0, 0. And then our slope is 5. And remember, guys, if you forget, that's technically the same thing over here. It's over 1, okay? It's not just 3, so when you're graphing a number like that, be like, oh yeah, it's over 1. And now number 4. So number 4, we get y. Is my pen working over here? Hold on a second. Okay, I'm back. So y equals 8 over 3 minus 4x. We have to plug in the 0. And guys, it's okay. You can have a fraction as your y-intercept. Okay? So, not y. B equals 0, 8 over 3. And remember, it's what's attached to the x. Okay, so -4. Now, I want to look at something right here. We said that y equals mx plus b was the equation. And our y-intercept is 0b. Let's take a look. Our answer for this was -8, but what did we start with up here? Isn't that the same? Our answer was 3, but up here we had a +3. Our answer was 0, and right here we had nothing, which is 0. Okay? 8 over 3, and then there you go, 8 over 3. So the shortcut is you can just look at your equation and be like, hey, look at what I noticed. It's -8. That's what my y-intercept's going to be. Okay? Don't make more work for yourselves, guys. You can just do it all right there. Okay? So that's what we're going to be doing on this back part, on number 5. It says to graph each linear equation by using the slope and y-intercept. So right away, there's my y-intercept. When I plug this in, I'm just going to write 0, -6. And this is where we begin. So right away, at 0, -6, that's where we put our first point. All right, and our slope was 4, which is 4 over 1. Now, is that a positive or is that a negative? Well, it's a positive. If it's a positive, I know that I need to rise 4, and I need to run 1. All right, so let's do this. Here's my starting point. I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. And every time I go up, I need to go to the right and plot my point. Okay? And now see how we've got this nice pretty line, but our pretty line keeps going over here. So technically, I can do one more point to the left over here, and I'm just going to continue the pattern, and there we go. Okay? So the last step to do is to draw your line. The nice thing about when you draw your graph like this, it's you already are going all the way through it, the entire length, so Ms. Carranza and I won't be yelling at you to finish your graph. Okay? All right, let's look at 6. All right, so for 6, what is our slope? Where do we begin? Or I'm sorry, the y-intercept. The y-intercept is what we're looking for first. Okay? Where is that? Did you get 0, 7? That's what I got. And then our slope is -1/2. Okay? So 0, 7 is where we begin. And the negative, is it positive or negative? Well, it's negative. That means I need to fall. That's your fall over your run. Your fall is your first number, which is 1. And then the run, you go left to right. Okay? So, once again, it says that we start at 7. So I'm going to start at +7 up here. And I need to fall 1 over 2. and take a look. Is my graph negative? Is it going down? Yeah, it sure is going down. Okay, and I'm going to go in both directions. You need to practice going in both directions because sometimes you won't be able to move to the right and you're going to have to go to the left. So get in that practice now. All right, so there's my graph. I'm going to draw the line and I'm going to add the arrows. All right, let's flip it over. What's my y-intercept? Mr. Grice, there's no number over there. I know there's no number. So when there's no number, it's 0. Okay, and then it's -3/5, which means we have to rise or fall. Hopefully you're saying fall. We have to fall 3 and run 5. Okay, so let's start at 0, 0. Fall 3, so 1, 2, 3 over 5. 1, 2, 3 over 5. And try working it in the other directions. Go 1, 2, 3 over 5. 1, 2, 3 over 5. And this is the line that you should be getting. Okay? All right, number 8. Why don't you guys try to see if you can get the whole thing done by yourself? Okay? So pause the video and good luck. Okay, well, I just wrote down that first information to see if you guys got that right. So we need to start at 0, -7, which is right here. And then it should be down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. Okay, and I'm going to continue my pattern. Now you can continue it the entire way. I'm getting kind of tired of drawing all those dots. But when you draw your line, you should be going through those. Okay? All right. Number 9. What's our y-intercept? Well, you should have 0, 5, and the slope of 4/3. Is that positive or negative? Well, it's positive, so we need to rise 4 and run 3. So I'm going to start at 0, 5 because this is our beginning. It's where we begin, and the M is our movement. So 1, 2, 3, 4, up 4, right 3, up, and I can't go any more. So that's why we need to know how to do the exact opposite. 1, 2, 3, 4. The key thing is when I'm plotting these other graphs, or these other points, that my graph is still rising. I know that it's a positive slope, so that tells me that no matter what, my line should be positive. And all of these points, if it doesn't make a line, if your graph looks something kind of like that, you did something wrong, or it's not going to look like that, okay? Those are just checks along the way to help you out, okay? Why don't you guys do number 10 and number 11 on your own, and when you come back, I'll have the answers up, okay? So pause the video and good luck. Okay, there's your answer to number 10. The y-intercept was 0, -8, and the slope of -2, which is the same thing as -2 over 1, which means it's a falling graph because it's negative, and our run was 1. Okay? And then here's the answer to number 11. It's a positive slope, 5, which is 5 over 1. You start at 0, 3, and there you go. Up 5 over 1. Now, that's going to be it today for algebra, or for the unit notes. If you have any questions, comment blah, blah, blah. come see Miss Carranza or myself. We'd love to help you out. Otherwise, thanks for watching 2.6, guys. Have a great day.